Hello guys, in this video I'm going to describe my 10-hour long GRE exam that I gave. So it is GRE at home exam, but currently I'm in university, so that is I'm in IIT Mandi campus. So I had to give my exam from the IIT Mandi campus. So that is what I'm going to describe now. So before that, the first thing that I want to make clear, so this video is about telling you how helpful these GRE people, or there's this ProctorU app that you use so that the GRE exam people use to conduct the GRE exam. So these people are very helpful is what is the main motto of this video. So until and unless you are not into any malpractices or you're not into any cheating, there is everyone out there to help you. And my this story that I'm going to tell you now is a big proof of that. Okay, so that was one thing. Now the other important thing is, if you are a person like me, if you are a student like me who has to give GRE exam from the campus, so there's one very important thing that you should remember, and that is that normally institutes like this have a proxy on their internet connection. So there's this proxy server that the IITs or institute like IITs have on over their internet connection. Now, for giving this GRE at home exam, you have to install the ETS browser, and then that ETS, through that ETS browser you have to give the exam, right? So now the problem that comes is that ETS browser does not support proxy. So if you have a proxy server on your internet connection, then you'll not be able to give the GRE at home exam. So you need a network which is proxy free. Okay, so this is very important. So because of this, I was not able to give the GRE at home exam from the internet connection provided by IIT Mandi. Instead, I had to give it through my mobile hotspot. So that is so the Geo network. I had to give it through that. So this is one important thing that you should remember, that you will not be able to give your GRE at home exam from a proxy network. Okay, so that comes to point number two. If you are giving through a mobile network, or so there's this rule in the GRE exam that you just should have a table in front of you, and on the table you should have nothing except your laptop and a board, a whiteboard, right? So you cannot even have your phone. You definitely cannot have your phone on your table. So during the exam, the examiner will ask you to show her or him or her wherever your phone is kept. So the phone may be inside the room, so that is allowed, but that should not be on the table, and you'll have to tell the examiner where your mobile phone is. Okay, so you cannot do USB tethering. So there is one more thing. You can connect your mobile to your laptop via USB cable and then share the internet connection. But that is something that you cannot do, because for that you will need to have your mobile on the table, right? So since you cannot do that, hence you'll have to use the mobile hotspot. Okay, so that is the other thing. So if you are in IIT or an institute like this, you'll have to give the GRE at home exam from your mobile hotspot. Okay, so make sure that you have a very nice connection of your Geo or whatever. So the connection should be very nice. Okay, so that is the other thing that you should make sure when you are giving GRE exam. Okay, so that was the second thing. So this is actually these are the two main important things. One is that you'll not have proxy. I mean, if you have proxy, you'll not be able to give your exam. The other is, if you don't have any option, you'll have to give it through your mobile hotspot, and then make sure that the connection is very nice. Okay, so now let me just begin with the story. I mean, what happened with me? Why did I take so long, 10 hours? And accordingly I will tell you how to, I mean, if you are in a case like me, how to just not panic and be calm. And yeah, so that's what I'm going to tell you. Okay, so it's like this. So I had a room. So here in the IIT I got a nice room, which was actually very empty, and I just had a table and my laptop in front of me. And my test started. It started at 2 o'clock. So my test started. The examiner told me to see the 360 degree of the room, and then she asked me the different things. I mean, so where is my mobile phone, show me the table, and so on. And all of that was done nicely. And then I started my test. So the first thing that comes in the GRE test is the essay, right? So the first essay. So I got the first essay and I was writing the essay. So I wrote the first paragraph, and what happened was suddenly internet connection went. Okay, so I don't know, there could be some problem with Geo, or I don't know what happened. The internet connection went. Because the internet connection went, it was just for a second, I mean just a fraction of a second. But then what happened was, because of that my screen share was stopped. And then they request access of your PC. So when you're giving the exam, you should have your camera open, your screen is shared. So they run some program into your PC to check whether only this thing is working or not. This thing, that means the test. So only the test is working or not. And they make you share your screen, so they can see your screen. So there was some technical issue with either my PC or the ProctorU application, that it was not able to share my screen. Okay, so this was the first major issue that I faced. Okay, so now what happens in these cases is, so there's this examiner, right? So the examiner then shifts the control from the examiner to a particular technician. So now understand this. So it's like this, like you have these Uber drivers. So so there are a lot of Uber drivers that are roaming around the city. So if you want a Uber cab or Ola cab, whatever, so you have to I mean, you have to ask for it. I mean, you put it into the app. So I want to go to here to here, right? So similarly, whenever there is a person, so there are these ProctorU technicians and ProctorU examiners all over the world. And whenever there is a test student, so like I am there over here, and if I need a technician, so what will an examiner do is, the examiner will shift the control, so my whole PC control, to some technician which is available anywhere in the world. Okay, so that is what happens. So now I was shifted to one technician. So now what happened was, that technician rejected my application. I mean, so it is like this. So like you reject in the taxi. I mean, the drivers can reject your ride. Similarly, he rejected my this. I don't know. I mean, why did he reject? I had no idea. But that is what happened. So and then it got connected to some other person, some other technician. Okay. So this was a long loop. So I mean, so the examiner first sees if she can do something. So I had a female examiner, so she tried checking my PC. I mean, if she could access my screen, but then she could not access my screen. Because of that, she had to transfer the control. And this transfer process took a lot of time. So what I feel is, there are less technicians out in the world. There are more examiners, like less technicians. And I guess at that point of time, no technician was available to take me. So at least it took me half an hour to 1 hour to just get a technician. Okay, so that was one thing that I faced. So So yeah, so you should just keep yourself calm. So at that point of time I was a little panic. I mean, I was thinking in my mind, okay, I think I should book a new test, or I guess this will not be considered, and so on. So there were a lot of thoughts going into my brain, but everything was successful at the end, right? So yeah, so after an hour or half an hour or so, I got my technician, and then the technician started to see what was the technical problem, right? So my chat window was always on, okay, and my camera was on, so they can see me, but I cannot see them. So my chat window is on, and all the communication happens through the chat window, the ProctorU chat window, okay. So that is the way how you communicate through these people. So after so after half an hour, I got my um, technician, and then he started doing something. I mean, something with the ProctorU application, or I don't know what was he doing, but yeah, he started doing something, and then he could also not be able to get my screen access. I mean, get my access of the screen. So due to some reason, my PC was not allowing the access. So that was the problem, and it almost took 2 to 3 hours. I mean, he tried 2 to 3 hours to get the screen access, but he could not do that. So then finally, what he asked me was, can he restart the computer? Okay. So that is the last option that they can do. I mean, they restart the computer. They from their side they restart the computer. So my PC was accessible, only the screen was not accessible. Okay. So they from their side they restarted my computer, and then after your computer is restarted, it automatically connects to the ProctorU, given that it has internet. So you don't need to do anything, you just need to sit there, and it did connect to the ProctorU, and then things were okay. Okay. So so uh, so I guess the problem was with my PC. So make sure that you have a good PC. I mean, I also had a good PC, but I don't know what was the problem. Okay. So yeah, so 3 yeah, almost 3 hours were gone in this, and I had just written one paragraph of my essay. So yeah, one more thing, one important thing, that whenever such incidences happen, automatically the exam pauses. So the timer that is running in the exam will start exactly from where you stopped. Okay, so it's not like 3 hours are gone, so 3 hours of my exam time is gone. No. Okay, so your exam stops over there. Okay. So yeah, so this was what happened for the first instance. Then I again got connected, everything was working fine, I wrote my first essay. So yeah, so one important thing was, there was one sentence that did not save. So these things have auto save, right? So there was one sentence that was not saved while I did it the first time. So because of that, I had to write that once more, but that is okay. I mean, it was just one sentence. Okay. So yeah, that was the other thing that I want to say. And then I wrote my essay, and everything was fine. After I completed my first essay, again the internet connection went. Okay. so uh, so it was almost 5 o'clock or 5:30. I started my test at 2, and again my internet connection went away. Now I don't know why. Why was this the case? I mean, I had done all the testing earlier, but I guess that day it was unlucky for me. So again the internet connection went away, and but things were fine. I mean, they could access my screen, everything was okay, but the examiner asked me to check my internet connection. So I mean, the examiner from his side actually checked the internet speed. So the internet speed was on the margin. So if if the internet speed drops even a little bit, the internet connection would go. So please understand, there's a lot of things that you are sharing with the examiner. You're sharing your camera, you're sharing your PC screen, you're giving your whole computer access to the examiner. So there's a lot of internet bandwidth that which is required over here. So make sure you have that. Okay. So since it was at the margin, the examiner asked me uh, to change my internet connection if I could. So at that point of time, what I asked and what I said them was that so I maybe this room may be a problem. So the room that I was in was a little at the back side. So the other thing that I tried was if I could change my room and go to the front side. So I thought I could get better internet connectivity. So I asked the examiner whether I could change my room, and she agreed. Okay, so this is another important point. If suppose you are not so if the internet connection is not okay in your room, you can change the room to some other. You can change the room, and so what will happen is when you change the room, they will again check the ask you to have the 360-degree view of the whole surroundings and check your table. So all of that will again come in the new room. So that is something that you should know. And there should be nobody around you, so they should not see any other person inside the frame. So where I was giving my exam, that was an empty building. So I had booked the place such that there is nobody over there. So that is something that you should remember. I mean, you should not have anybody around you. They should only see you in the camera. Okay. So yeah, and then I changed my room. Showed my 360-degree view, and everything was fine. So that took some more time, and then I almost completed my second essay. I completed my first section, which was math, I mean quant. Then I completed my second section. I took a break of 10 minutes, and then again I came back and my camera stopped working. My PC camera stopped working. I don't know why. So I don't think this was because of internet issue. So I guess because of the application or because of my PC, I don't remember. I don't know. My camera stopped working. So now this took me more 3 to 4 hours for the examiner or for the new technician. So now I again had to connect to a new technician, and then he again restarted my computer, and then finally my camera started working and I could complete my test. Okay, so this is how I took 10 hours to complete the whole GRE exam. Okay, so the main takeaway from this video is one, there are people to help you. So until and unless you are not into any malpractices or any cheating, people will help you no matter your internet connection goes away or there is any other technical thing that happens. So there are people to help you. The other thing is you can change the room if the internet connection is unstable, and the only thing that you should remember is there should be nobody, absolutely nobody other than you in I mean, during your exam. Okay. So that is a very important thing. You should not have anybody around you. Okay. And yeah, I guess that is pretty much it. Yes, that is all. Okay, so yeah, that was my experience, and I am sure that you got some information from this video, and yeah, that's all. All the very best if you're giving your GR exam.